It's finally here. The OnePlus Open has arrived and it's time to have fun with it. But instead of just talking about my first impressions, I'll show you how my first day went. So let's go. After unboxing the device last night, I set it up and set some things to download, then went to sleep. Today I want to fully immerse in the open world that sits nicely in my palms. So shortly after testing a few things, I switched over my SIM card from my Z Fold 5 into the OnePlus Open. Of course I had to tweet about it to all my 10 followers on Twitter. You know, you can be number 11 if you want. But yeah, after that, I decided to try Genshin Impact while I fed my daughter. To my surprise, the performance actually seemed pretty good compared to other phones I've had, like the Z Fold 5 or the S23 Ultra. The game seems stable at 60 FPS with maxed out graphics. I haven't progressed far into the game, so I acknowledge that it's just a starter area. Maybe other more complicated sequences or areas in the game might be more demanding and hard to run for the phone. But either way, I was impressed in the short sample size. If you're a parent, then you already know we can't go a day without taking photos of our kids. Plus, I also wanted to test these cameras that they're calling the best on a foldable phone. After that, she went back to sleep for a nap before we leave the house for the day. While I was holding her, I was using the Open with one hand, and to be honest, it wasn't a bad experience. My hand did start cramping after a few minutes though, and I think in a scenario like this, I would prefer a slimmer and easier to hold device. After I put my daughter down, I decided to try being productive on this phone like I would with my Z Fold 5. So I worked on a story that I'm writing and messed around with multitasking while looking for writing techniques and methods. The next thing I did was use it in flex mode while I eat a quick meal before we head out for the day. Watching videos in flex mode at first was slightly better than the Z Fold 5 because of the bigger screen when split, but the hinge decided to just give up. It seems like the hinge can sit at a 90-degree angle without any issues, but anything after that, it starts to close or open. The hinge feels like it's designed to snap shut or fling open, with flex mode being an afterthought. I decided I'm not doing that again because I can't adjust the viewing angle to make it comfortable, and then I'm also not trying to break this phone. Next, I dropped my wife off at work and begun looking for a park to go and test out these cameras. Using the split screen, I searched for parks on Google Maps and then also looked up what the parking situation might be like at these parks. Once I found a park to go to, I fed my daughter and used the cover display with one hand, and just like earlier, it wasn't a bad experience because it's a decent sized screen, but my hand started to cramp up a little bit. It's honestly about as good as a normal phone, but slightly less ergonomic. Arriving at the park, I took some time to film B-roll and really admired the design of this phone. In my opinion, I think this might be one of the top 3 best looking phones that came out this year. The way light naturally wraps around this phone and its different shades of green pleases my eyes. The camera setup is huge for a smartphone, but it looks really good to me. It's very premium looking, like an expensive watch combined with the expensive photography gear, something along those lines. The included case also looks really good, but it feels pretty low quality in my hands. The experience actually using the cameras was pretty great. I had no issues with lag or stuttering. Shutter lag was pretty minimal. The overall camera package is pretty versatile with different modes and focal lengths that you have access to. In terms of quality and detail, I think this phone has a lot of potential. The colors reproduced are some of the best colors I've seen in a smartphone yet. I think I'll have to spend more time doing a deeper dive, but from what I've seen, these cameras are really good. And it honestly made me think about how these cameras compare to the Z Fold 5 cameras. Maybe I'll make a video on that very soon, so make sure you subscribe if you're not. So after all that, I ended the day with about 10% battery left. It was almost 13 hours since the phone was fully charged, with almost 6 hours of screen on time. It wasn't the heaviest day in terms of usage for me, but it's pretty good when you keep in mind that it hasn't fully learned my usage patterns. I think the battery life is okay so far. To end the night, I wanted to test out this Super VOOC charging. I've never had a phone that could charge this fast before, so it was intriguing to me. When you plug it in, it's crazy to see the percentage going up so fast in real time, but in terms of results, it charged from 10% to 100% in about 40 minutes. This feature is super sick, and I can see how it can be useful in many different scenarios, but still I would like to see wireless charging on the next OnePlus Open. No matter what phone I'm using, I always trickle charge in my Tesla just to maintain the battery over the day. Not that I'm scared of my battery dying for any of the phones I use. I feel like they're all okay or good, but since I have this wireless charger with me all the time, I use it. And then I also have some wireless chargers at home that I just casually use. But yeah, this is how the first 24 hours went with this phone. Subscribe for my full review and comparison videos with the Z Fold 5 and a lot more content on the way. We out. Peace.